welcome, everyone. We're really, really excited that you're here. We are going to jump in because the last time that Breanna and I hosted this, it was a packed hour. We had a lot to share. So this is Videography 101 for School Nutrition. I'm Liz Roesel with C-Level Social, and I will introduce Breanna. She is joining us from Lee County Schools in Florida, and let's get started. I'm going to just start off with one of my worst video moments. This is my good friend Stephanie Giannini at Marquardt 15 in Illinois. And she was the first person to do a Facebook Live with me from ANC to share her story. It was a very short, brief Facebook Live. And because she was so generous to be the guinea pig, I did her entire Facebook Live sideways and could not fix it once it was uploaded. And I was mortified because not only was she a friend, but she was also so generous with her time and was willing to go live. And this was when Facebook Live first came out, everyone. So I start off with this worst video moment for you to realize that, you know, things are going to happen. But that's the great thing about school nutrition is we all think on our feet. Things happen all the time that maybe it's not what we planned, but we learn from it. And so that's a moment that I learned from, and now I always am very careful of my Facebook Lives. As I said, I'm Liz Roesel with C-Level Social. I will not introduce myself because we have too much important stuff happening today. But if you have any questions at all, I'm always here. And I have so thankful for Breanna Gustafson's time and sharing, because not only is Breanna the marketing and communication supervisor at Lee County, she's specifically for food and nutrition services. So, oh my goodness, like how perfect of a panelist to share not just marketing tips, video marketing tips, and then specifically all she cares about is food and nutrition services. So a lot of what we're going to talk about is exactly what she does at Lee County. We are going to, I'm going to go over quickly what we're going to cover today, because like I said, this last time we hosted this webinar, it was packed, but because we want more time for your questions. Breanna and I talked about that this morning. We had such great questions. So I do want to preface this with this webinar, we are not going to get into showing you exactly how to create a video and using software to do so. That would really be a webinar in and of itself to show you actually physically making a video. But Ariane Hurtado is the C-Level Social Marketing Strategist. She has been making videos left and right. And so she's going to make a video to show you how to make a video. And that will be coming later. We will email that to everyone that's here today. So just don't want you to be sitting here for an hour and go, when am I going to get to see a video being made? We're going to kind of cover a couple other things first. It is Videography 101. We'll talk about the power of video, which obviously you understand to some extent, or you wouldn't be here with us today. But we are going to talk about different equipment and software, which I think is just the biggest hurdle for video. It's a thing that hangs me up is my hesitation and my intimidation with equipment and software. So we'll spend time there, and we actually have a graphic afterwards to show you that will give you a graphic that will help with this takeaway. Crafting a video, and this is where I'll hand it over to Breanna. We kind of tag team that first part. But Breanna is going to really talk about crafting a video, determining a theme, finding your story, and then we'll both talk about once you make a video, what do you do with that video to make sure more people see it? Because we certainly don't want you spending time on something and not getting as many people as possible to see it. Finding and knowing who your audience is for this video, and then once you make a video, how do you know it was successful or not? So we're going to talk a little bit about your ROI there. So we are going to, like I said, jump in here. We move fast, but we keep an eye on the comments. Put those questions in the chat box, and we're going to have plenty of time at the end for them too. And you know me, if you're attending this and you don't know me, you know I'm always here afterwards for questions. And Breanna is so giving of her time too. Last time, when we hosted this first time, you gave us a shot list, and you gave us more resources after. So we're both here, so don't worry. Okay, so and actually, oh my goodness, I can't believe I almost forgot it. Breanna, can you see me on the screen?
I can.
Okay, good. So we'll tag team this a little bit and talk equipment. I am a huge fan of live video because I hate editing videos. And I think I'd rather just go live and it's done and it's there and I don't have to edit anything. I say but Ariane edits all of Sea Level Social's videos. So this is it's a smooth selfie stick. SMOVE, and again, you're going to get a nice little infographic at the end of this, guys, that has all the names of this and everything on it, okay? But this selfie stick is not cheap. It is, I think I paid $160 for it, but if you are going to do a lot of live video, or even just any video on your phone at all, and as Breanna says, the best cameras in your pocket. This is a nice investment. $160. This really shows. So watch how I put the video in and it's kind of loose. I charge it, and when I turn it on, it stabilizes. So if you can see, I'm moving all around and it's saying staying stable. It does extend, and it does have a little piece here I can screw in and make it a tripod. So I also can manipulate, there's a little joystick, and I can turn it around. My favorite tip for this, if you invest in one of these, comes from Chris Burkhart at Cleveland Metropolitan Schools in Ohio. He said he takes his selfie stick and he goes down the lunch line for when we're back in school. He goes down the lunch line with a selfie stick and looks at what the lunch line looks like from the eye level of students. So those little eyes, and he uses a selfie stick to do it, and he said you'd be surprised at what you see, you might uncover as you're looking through their eyes. SMOVE, it's smooth, $160, I believe. There are others, selfie sticks, but you'll see this one, it's, what's it called, Breanna? Like motor, like, not calibrate. I forget the term in it, but it stabilizes it for you. I love this thing, but that's mine. Breanna, tell us about the equipment that you have. These pictures here are hers.
Yes. So last time I was able to do a little demo, but I was in my office, so the space was kind of small. So this is the microphone that I use. It's a Rode mic, and Liz will actually send you out a list after this with the links to the equipment if you wanted to order it. I don't know the pricing off the top of my head, but I think this was around $80. Best investment because we do a lot of interviews. This is my tripod. This is a little bit more complex than a selfie stick, but I do a lot more video editing. I kind of do long form video and do a lot of digital storytelling and kind of a cinematic type of video. So I use Manfrotto tripods, and that's only because that's what I learned on. So I just have a preference to flock to this brand. And then I think this was around $120, but any tripod will work, and tripods are so important because if you don't have stable video, you don't have good video. You want it to be stable, you want it to be engaging, and you want it to look somewhat professionally done, even if you're not a professional. I am not a professional by any means, but I like to come off that way. So right now I actually have a 300 millimeter zoom lens on here because I've been going to our meal sites and staying 6 feet away from everybody and still getting amazing photos and amazing video. So this little shotgun mic that I just showed you, super easy. Audio is actually one of my weaker areas. If you asked me to mic somebody up with like a wireless lavalier, I would be so nervous and not know what to do, but I'm sure I could figure it out. But this was really good for, beginning video. It sits right on the top of my DSLR camera. This is also where an external flash would go. So if you got, you see the professional photographers with the big flashes that sit on top of the camera, this just screws right into there. And over here, we have outlets for headphones and external microphones. This just plugs right on into here. I put the camera on a manual setting for recording, and I can do my interviews. Now, a microphone like this can be a little tricky, though, because it picks up everything. It doesn't only pick up your subject. So yesterday I did an interview, and it was a little bit windy, and it picked up the wind. But it worked because we were outside, so naturally there was going to be some sound from the cars, the wind, the street. So that is what I use for equipment, but I do always say that the best camera is the one in your pocket, and we always have these on us. So on here you can do Facebook Live, the iPhone, the Droid, all the smartphones take great video, great photos, and I always say if you're just trying to dabble in video, just practice, walk through the lunch line, always shoot horizontally, just practice getting B-roll.
Yeah. So B-roll, if you're not familiar, I had heard the term but didn't really realize. Breanna is great about her videos, which you'll see some today. She has, an interview, but the B-roll is going down the lunch line. It's kids in the cafeteria. It's the team working. It's no audio. It's just, is that a good example or good,
Yeah. So when I shoot B-roll, and it's so funny, I actually wrote down the actual definition of B-roll before this call started. So B-roll is the supplemental or alternative footage, extra footage to help tell the story, and it eliminates talking heads. So if you're interviewing a school food service director or a parent about, your lunch program, people are more likely to watch if you have some supplemental video on top of that interview. And if Liz and I ever do an editing class, we'll get into layering video and putting B-roll where it needs to go and cuts. The human attention span for an adult is 8 seconds long. So imagine a 3-minute video of just one person talking. So that's why B-roll is important to kind of help tell the story. Any questions? Oh, we do have a question.
Oh, yeah.
Is the Canon a DSLR T6i Rebel? It is just a, hold on. It is a DSLR. It is a Rebel SL3.
And we do have that cheat sheet that we'll send everyone after with all the equipment and the names of everything too. Thank you for the question, Will. And I want to just point out, I thank you for mentioning, Breanna, that when you're recording video with that camera, you're just on manual. So that's where I get really concerned. I'm like, am I on the right setting? What's this lighting? But for you saying like you're on manual, like that really takes a lot of the stress out.
I actually advise not to be on manual if you're just starting out. I use manual because that gives me the option to record with that microphone. So
okay.
Instead of the automatic camera audio,
Gotcha.
I choose to record with that. If I'm just out shooting video, I always do automatic because it's less room for error.
Nice.
When you get into manual, you get into white balance and shutter speed and all kinds of other settings that we could get into in a whole nother class. But for basic video, I would shoot in automatic.
Great. And like I said, we will be creating more resources to help you. This is just a 101. So Breanna, you have the first couple of software systems here that you love.
Sure. So I use Adobe Premiere. I learned on Adobe Premiere. It's easy for me, and that's one of the industry standards is Adobe. Adobe also makes I would compare it almost like Photoshop and Canva. One a little more advanced, and then one is for really anybody to go in and play around and use. They make Adobe Spark. That is an online platform. You don't have to download it. You can create a free account, and you can make videos. So it's a lot of drag and drop. They have really nice templates for captions or different graphics. They have a ton of stock photos. You can upload your own photos. So if you're not comfortable in video editing, which many people are not, but I advise you all to try and encourage you all to try. Adobe Spark is a great resource to just make simple videos for social media using the photos and videos that you already have, save it to your phone or computer, and upload it quickly.
Nice. And as far as using for iMovie, which is on on Macs as well, but it's also on iPhone. So iMovie is something you can easily take your photos, your and videos, and make an easy, quick video all on your phone. It's free. My favorite tip that I learned from Stephanie Dove when she was at Loudoun County, if you are making an iPhone video, you go to add audio, and instead of clicking and choosing music, she chose voiceover, and she will record her voice, and it will play the video. So while the video is playing on her phone, she's saying, here is our team at Murray Middle School. They're serving up hot dogs that day. And she just records her voiceover, and then she's done. So her photo slideshow has a voiceover, and it was all on her phone. And again, I already said I hate editing. So yeah, so definitely play with iMovie, absolutely, if you can. And similarly, Quick is another smartphone app that does the same thing. It has templates, and it will move around. It's like you just literally just tell it what photos to choose. Free, I love free, and want you to play around with things. And where all of this kind of comes full circle, sorry the names aren't on there earlier. So Screencast-O-Matic is a tool I've mentioned a couple of times. I did a webinar with Asane, Ariane, and I did. And I'll show you an example of a video I made using Screencast-O-Matic. But what it does is it lets you record whatever's on your computer screen. You record, and you can do a voiceover, and you can basically, the best way to do it is like a tutorial. Let's say you want to make a video maybe internally to show your team how to do something, something on the website, something with your software system. You can make a very short tutorial video using this tool. Screencast-O-Matic is $30 for a whole year. Very, very easy. And I'll show you, actually, let's pop out of the PowerPoint, and I'll show you while we're talking about it. This is an example of a video I made. I call them Facebook hacks. They're little tips on using Facebook. Okay, so you see me in the corner here. I actually let it see my webcam, so there's a face to this, but you'll see as I do this video, I'm going to move around the screen, and it's capturing whatever I do. So I make quick little video hacks, and I think that this could be really beneficial for internal communications. But how this all comes together is Ariane, C-Level's marketing strategist, is going to use Screencast-O-Matic to record her editing one of our videos, and then in that she'll show everyone how to do a video on iMovie. And Breanna, I think you'd agree that if you see how it's done in iMovie, you can kind of learn Adobe Spark, all the other video tools. So if it's drag and drop, meaning you literally just upload your videos or your photos, they're all very similar. Would you agree?
Yeah, it's very similar. There's not a whole lot of cutting or layering video in those apps. And this is just a little hack. I'm not sure if anybody knows on your if you have an iPhone, I'm not sure about Android. If you say you're not comfortable doing Facebook Live, but you want to videotape yourself as a look live and then upload it to social media, and if you're like me, there's been times where I've missed the end button or the stop button, and it's just like 30 extra seconds of me trying to stop the video. You can go to edit and trim your video right in your library.
Yeah.
And upload it to one of those apps so that there's really no trimming that has to be done, and it's just a clean edit.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll have a survey afterwards. If there's questions you have, we can always make videos to show you how to do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so we're going to shift out of video or software and hardware or equipment. Breanna, we're going to use some of your examples. Can you tell us about some of the videos you've made at Lee County?
Yeah, sure. So I love video. If any of you follow the school district of Lee County Food Nutrition Services, you know that we are big on video. And this is simply because we want to tell our brand story in the best way possible. We want everybody to know what we're doing because we're doing a lot, and people don't want to read They want to watch. So we do everything. I record everything. And my team is very good about letting me know if there's something exciting going on because they know that I'll be there with my camera. So some of the elements of video that you want to think about before shooting a video is the location. Where do I need to go to shoot the video? Is there good lighting at that location? Who needs to be at that location for me to talk to? Do I have permission? It is so important to have permission to shoot somewhere because especially nowadays, if you just walk onto a school site with a camera, you know, everyone's kind of on edge and they want to know what's going on. So sound is important. What are you going to shoot with? Do you have a microphone? How is the sound where you're going? Is it near a road? The location, the people. Always go with interview questions if you're going to do an interview, just so you appear more prepared, even if you're not. Appear confident. That is, you know, the biggest thing. And then what are you going to shoot? Even if you really don't know, go with a shot list. So here I was filming a gym class. I knew that I needed to get close-ups of sneakers. A lot of the times I don't know if I can get video of the kids if there's not a do not photograph list. So I have to think creatively. Okay, hands. If they're doing like parachute, get close-ups of hands and whatever they're doing, whatever activity, their feet, their backs. And then B-roll, the basketball hoops, the cones that are set up. If I'm going to a specific school, maybe get a close-up of the sign of the school, Trafalgar Elementary School, for example. Just little pieces of video that I know will make one big, great video. And that's
we did have one question from Krista. She asked if there was an Android equivalent to the iPhone apps we talked about. So iMovie is obviously iPhone, but Quick, Q-U-I-K, is on Android. Are there any other Android apps that you like, Breanna?
I don't know of any. I am all Apple, so I've never done any video editing on even Windows. So I don't know of any, unfortunately.
So yeah, Quick is very easy, and then also making a photo slideshow in an Android, you should just select the photos you want, and then on your menu option there is Create Slideshow. So they make it even easier.
Yep, and then I think Adobe Spark may have an app that you can download, and that will work with everyone. And that's free. So B-roll, this is where B-roll comes in for that shot list. You know, just get all the alternative footage that you can to make your story or your video the most interesting.
Right. And you did mention lighting. I'm going to insert a question since you mentioned it. Lighting. What's your opinion on lighting? When you go at a site, what do you think?
My opinion on lighting is always, I tend to go for the natural light because then I can control it in post-production. Adobe Premiere has a lot of options for color correction, exposure, contrast, all of that. Sometimes if I'm filming inside, I find that it's harder to get the look that I want. So if you're going to shoot inside, see if there's natural light. Your camera, actually, not sure on a smartphone. Let me just see something really quick.
And while you're looking that up, I'll say when I do my videos, it's in front of an open window. It's natural light. I do have a light only for night. If like I'm doing the virtual meetup tonight at 8 o'clock at night, I have one light for that. I'm all natural too.
Yeah. So on your video, if you open your video screen, if you tap, there's a little sun that opens up in the corner, and you can actually control the exposure of the video.
Yeah. That's a great idea. That's a great point. I think people do forget when you're taking a photo, just tap your screen and see where it's going to adjust for the lighting.
Yep.
Yeah. Awesome. If you have any questions, just throw them in the chat, everyone. I'm keeping an eye.
Determining the theme. So I always say, you know, before I post a video or shoot a video, what do I want the audience to gain from this? What do I want the audience to feel from this? What is the overall feel of the video? So in this one, you can tell by looking at it, it's obviously very playful, fun. This was actually a video that we put out thanks to Liz. She introduced me to My Talking Pet. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of that, but it's a free app that you can use to make objects talk. And so we had ordered all of these fruits and vegetables from Amazon, and we paired them up with the harvest of the month, and we made these vegetables appear to be talking, stating fun facts about them, what they were good for, what vitamins they had, and then we sent them to the principals in Lee County so that they could post it on the school news once a month. And it went over very well. We did get some feedback that some of the kids thought they were creepy, but most kids thought they were cute, and it was just one really easy way to engage our audience. So we knew that that was supposed to be educational and fun. I recently did a video, and Liz, I don't know if you want to pull up that video now.
Yeah, absolutely.
I wanted the feel to reflect what is going on right now. And this was done a couple of weeks ago, but you can see it was in black and white. We weren't in a good spot. None of us were really happy, so you can kind of see how we wanted the video to feel.
Perfect. And I'll say to everyone before we click play, this video is 2 minutes and 13 seconds long, and Breanna had one that was over 4 minutes, and she said, oh no, that one's too long. So remember, short video, it's not only is it totally fine, it's preferable, especially on social media. Love it. So, Breanna, just for a frame of reference, about how long do you think, editing-wise, it took you to edit that?
That took me probably an hour to 2 hours.
Okay. Good for us to know.
That is because I knew that was going to be a pretty short video, and I shot that over the course of a few days. I was really excited to get it out. You know, the last couple of weeks I've been so excited to tell our story that I've just been getting things out as soon as I can. I don't advise rushing through editing. I don't even know, I couldn't hear the audio in that. I'm not sure if anybody else could.
No, yeah.
Some of the work, like the feelings that I wrote down for that were sad, motivating, empowering, I wanted that video to get shared amongst school nutrition professionals. Kind of like, hey, we're all in this together. This is a motivating, empowering video. I wanted, people to be able to really relate to that video. And that was my vision beforehand.
Yeah. That's so important, not just as a video marketer like you are, but as anything you are marketing, anything you are putting out there, always ask yourself, what do I want the audience to feel? Do I want them to be happy with the talking veggies? Do I want them to get emotional? And emotional is okay. Emotional is good. It makes people take action. So that's great advice across the board. I'm so sorry the audio didn't work. I put the link there in the chat so you can watch it later. But I did want to just note something. If you're ever on Facebook, I'm really guilty of this. I'll see something and think, I want to go back and watch that later when I have time. If you don't, if you can also always come up, there's a 3 dots here. You can click that and save the video. And later on, you'll get a notification that says, do you want to watch the video you saved? If you're in your news feed, let's see if I can find one. I was going to see if I can find a video. If you're in your news feed, here's one, a YouTube. You can click there and save. And then later on, you can watch it. So that might help you kind of be able to see all these great things that are happening. So. And thank you, Cindy. It looks like Cindy, maybe that was you, or if that was Caitlin, for more tips on, that was Caitlin. Thank you for giving your tips. Caitlin said that some good apps for Android and iPhone to play with are Hyperlapse and Boomerang. Boomerang's very, very popular. They're by Instagram, and you can save the videos to your phone. I used a Boomerang yesterday, only since you said that. Sorry. We told you this was interactive and freeform for a reason. I did a Boomerang. If you're not familiar with Boomerang, I did one the other day, yesterday, because I got some candy for goodie bags for School Lunch Hero Day, but I had to steal a little bit. So I made my Boomerang of like what I snagged from my stash. So that's a Boomerang. It's just a short, repetitive video. Alrighty, so we'll jump back over. Keep the questions and the comments coming, everyone. We love it. Alrighty.
So, fine. A lot of the time, I'm like, I don't even know where to start. I need some video content. My feed's getting kind of dry. We need to switch it up. So a lot of the times, I'm aware of events that are happening, and I'll go to those events with my camera with the intention of shooting a video. Like this whole time that school's been closed and we've done mobile feeding sites, I've been out with my camera because I know that every day there's going to be a story or something to post on social media. But other times, I just have my phone and I go into schools, and this particular video right here was Thanksgiving meal. I think it was the Wednesday before school, or the couple days before school let out for Thanksgiving, and I went in with my phone, and this whole crew is singing and dancing, and it just smells like Thanksgiving in the kitchen. They're having the best time. So I sat down with the manager, and I said, tell me what you love about Thanksgiving. And I just let her talk, and it was some of the best sound for a story that I could have ever imagined. I just had my cell phone, and I actually had some video from the year before that I could craft the video out of. So definitely get in the habit of always shooting and archiving videos so that when you do get that perfect soundbite, you can go back to your archived video and just put out a video. Nobody has to know that it's from the year before. It's your own little stock video photo file. So it's helpful to do that. And like I said, the best camera is the one in your hand. You don't need a DSLR camera to shoot good video.
I love it.
Promoting the video. So we...
Oh, sorry. One really quick. Sorry, we had one more comment. Cindy said, has anyone seen the video a principal made and posted? And it was to the song All By Myself, and he walked through the schools by himself. Super cute. Love it. So I haven't seen it. Have you seen it, Breanna?
I did. I think I saw it, and I remember saying to myself, how did they get away with that? Because I've been wanting to post a video using Lean on Me, the song,
Oh.
but Facebook will mute it if it's stolen or copyrighted, and or they'll ask you, do you have permission to use this? And you can lie, and you can say, yes, I do, but working for a school district, I'm not comfortable taking that chance, because if they ever came back at me and said, you know, you don't have permission to use this, I could be in big trouble. So that's a great video, and it probably got a ton of shares, but I don't advise doing that.
Yeah, be careful of the, especially I would hate if you created a video and you did all this work in the editing room and then you published it. And what happened to me, I went live at a concert and it just muted the whole middle of it. So you could see everything, but Facebook just muted it. So be careful. I don't know the rules on putting, I do not own the copyrights to this music. If something as simple as putting that in the caption, it seems to work for people. Have you?
No, I don't advise doing that either, because I tried to get my lunch ladies to do the cha-cha slides a couple months ago, I think for National School Lunch Week. I did all this research because it got muted. If you put that in the caption and you do get caught, I guess it's worse because you're acknowledging that you know that it's not your music.
Oh, goodness. Okay.
Yeah, so I don't advise doing that.
You know, and you can do fun things with if you have like your school, like if your school band, your high school band or something, maybe trying to use them for things instead, and it can still pick up on the tune though. It'll still recognize. So be careful of the audio. That's a good point. But yes, I wanted to point out about Cindy's comment though is the do not be afraid to use humor. It is the #1 way to go viral. I feel like it's humor, and then it's also emotion. If you don't feel like that's part of your brand, and you don't want to be humorous, that's okay. The next best thing is relatable. Just be relatable. But if you're comfortable using humor, do it. If you want to kind of play around with using humor in your marketing and your video marketing, TikTok obviously is huge. I heard someone say TikTok and Tiger King is what's getting us through quarantine. So obviously TikTok's huge, and it's going to help you market to those high schoolers too, right? Because that's where they are in middle school and probably elementary too. But so don't be afraid to use humor if you can.
Yeah. So for video, I tend to use Facebook a lot. One of the reasons being my district doesn't allow food service to have their own Instagram. So I share the Instagram with our district, and I don't feel that I can be as creative there because we're under the whole district umbrella. We're on Facebook, it's just food service content, so I feel like I can be a little bit more creative. So as you can see here, I did a little pun. Our first day with Campbell Soup was super, and I feel like I maybe overdo the puns, but it works, and it's eye-catching, and people really like it. I also like Facebook because you can tag companies' Facebook pages pretty easily, so it's easy for them to share your content. And it's just engaging. We get a lot of comments and shares and likes, and Liz, as you know, the more that people comment on your stuff, the more feeds it gets into. The more people who like, and I don't know if you want to demonstrate this on your screen, but if you click the 44 people who liked this post, you can see who likes your page and who you need to invite to like this. So I go through every single post and click invite if somebody likes my content who doesn't like our page.
So this is a great tip. I actually made a Facebook hack about it because I love this tip. So let's see. I might have done this recently, but we'll see if Dothan City Schools is one of our clients. So this is exactly what Breanna's talking about, and it is such an easy way to get more Facebook followers. Let's see. Page is just taking a minute. There we go. So once you start getting people liking your post, we just did one yesterday, and like she said about tag like other pages, they're more likely to follow. So you see there were 10 likes. You click on it, I've already invited.
Yeah.
So if Tracy had not liked their page already, it would say invite, and I'd click invite. And then Tracy would get a notification that says, you've been invited to like Dothan City Schools Child Nutrition page. And what's so great about this is they've already interacted with us. They've already clicked the like button, so why wouldn't they follow us? You'll see Constance has been invited. I invited her. So this is a great way to get some low-hanging fruit and invite them to like your page. So I try to stay on top of it, as you can see. Yeah, so it'll be right here, though.
It's something I do every day. At the end of the day, I go through every post and invite people to like our page. And it is good during this time because everybody is looking for information on grab-and-go meal sites, what's for lunch, where is their next meal coming from, and people who aren't normally following Food Nutrition Services are. And so I think, got 600 new likes in the last couple of weeks. We finally reached 2,000. We started our Facebook page in 2018, so coronavirus has been good for some things.
Yes. And before we go to the next slide, Jessica said she loves to see her Campbell's unit in the works.
Oh, it's fun. And so
okay. All right, we're going to go through the next few slides. We've got 20 minutes, and we'll definitely take your questions.
So Facebook, this was a boosted post. Facebook and Instagram, I think Twitter too, allows you to boost your content. This was a video, so I boosted this video, and as you can see, I reached 2.3 thousand people, 3,240 people reached, 253 engagements. Engagements, Liz will get to this, are people who don't just pass by your video. They click it, they like it, they watch it, they share it. So I don't always boost my posts, but when I do, I spend like $5 and reach a whole new audience. Facebook has amazing options for choosing exactly who you want to target. So my go-to is, I think it's women in Lee County between 21 and 55 is who I choose because they're more than likely mothers. They have school-age children. They may be the ones bringing the kids to school or really concerned about the school meal program. So I also target men as well. But as you can see in the next slide, that our most engaged audience is exactly that. It's 33% women between 35 and 44 in Lee County.
And then this is a screenshot from a video I did. As I said earlier, I hate editing video. That's why I like Facebook Live, Instagram Live. You can go live on Twitter. And you can go live on YouTube. These spikes you see here, this is my data from my Facebook page from SNIC, and those spikes are from live video that I then shared on Facebook groups. So I'm sure you all know, if you're in this webinar, there are school nutrition Facebook groups, but don't overlook local Facebook groups. Like I showed you, Dothan City Schools is a client of ours. We post their stuff on Dothan Talks, Wiregrass Talk, and then there's one on Dothan Deals because they're serving free meals right now. So I share their posts on those groups, and we always get more followers and more people seeing their posts. This is all about getting more eyes on your stuff. So don't underestimate the power of groups and of live video. These videos I did, y'all, I just went outside because it was a sunny day, went live on my phone. I rattled off my favorite takeaways from each day. That was it. It was no frills, to the point. That's what people want. I went to Social Media Marketing World with Ariane and Ashley Hayes from South Carolina District. We learned if you want people to watch your video from start to finish, start quickly, get to the point quickly, and end abruptly. There's no need to spend 20 seconds wrapping up everything. They just watched your video. And you don't want them skipping ahead 10 and 15 seconds and skipping the beginning of your video either. So you will notice from C-Level Socials videos, I say, hey everyone, I'm Liz Roesel. I'm going to show you how to do this. And it seems kind of cold at first, but it's not. It's because the attention span is 8 seconds, like Breanna said. So get to the point. That's okay. That you should get to your point quickly. These are some of the stats from mine. As you can see, who liked and reacted, and I can show you these kinds of things. But from that week, it was 1 week. I went live 3 times and shared on groups, and in 1 week, I got 41 new followers. And look at those. That's peak in all of those stats there. How many people engaged, meaning liked, commented, shared, and people that I reached. I reached 4,500 people. At this time, I think Sea Level Social had like 200 followers, which is huge. There are some more resources. If you actually will go to Sea Level Social's page, I have some newer resources than that. I'll share one of my favorite video moments, and then we'll take your questions. And it kind of, I love it. It's perfect with Breanna's how she mentioned that she interviewed the cafeteria manager, you know, unexpectedly. She didn't know she was walking into this. Mike Burke is one of my good friends. If you're in the industry, you probably know Mike. He and I were at a Kansas show, and I said, Mike, we should do a webinar together. I was with Horizon Software at the time. I said, we can talk about equipment and how to keep your hardware, your computers and stuff ready to go. You could talk about equipment. He's like, yeah, that would be great. We'll kind of, you know, promote together. I said, do you want to do a Facebook Live and promote it? And he's like, yeah, let's do it. That's it. It doesn't have to be, you know, and it was a Facebook Live from the floor of the show. And that's one of my favorite video moments. You know, definitely storyboarding is important when you're spending, like Breanna said, if I'm going to dedicate 2 hours to edit something, storyboard it. But not everything has to be, right? Okay, I feel like there was a couple things I wanted to show you outside of this. Please put your questions in the chat. Looks like we have one already. Oh, Cindy said Mike is good people, and yes, he is. So we are going to send you this. This is a little cheat sheet of the tools that we talked about. I didn't mention the Yeti Blue microphone. If you, that was a question from previously. I love this microphone. It was what I used for podcasting. I think, is this the same one you have, Breanna?
Yeah, that's what I have.
I love that microphone. I think it's about $160. Great quality though. These are the tool editing software. We didn't get into editing audio, but if you ever need to, Audacity is free and easy. And I think, Breanna, you even said Audition works, but even you use Audacity, right?
Yeah, I think it's easier for what I need to do. For the simple audio that I get, Audacity is so easy to use and it's free.
Oh, I wanted to show the Canva tip. That was one thing. I knew there was something here. So if you're using, you might be using Canva. I've talked about it for years. Love, love, love Canva. I've used Canva for free for 5 years and just recently did the pro account. You know, for what, if you're working at a district and you're really just promoting for your district, the free account is really all you need. But I wanted to show you, you might not be aware that you can make mini videos in Canva and then use those. So I'll show you, let me show you one previous one before, let's see if I can actually, we'll show this one first. So I'm hosting SNA Weekly Wrap-Up. It's a weekly interview with a school nutrition professional to share how are they managing serving students right now. And this is what our intro slide is. And then that one, let's see, where's our, didn't have our exit. Oh, the exit is actually, the outro is just a slide. But what we do is we make this, and then you come up here, and when you download, you just download it as a video. So then you have this MP4, just a little video file that you can then insert into Adobe Spark or whatever tool you're using to put your video together. You can put this in. How did I find this? You go to your elements, and I'll do a different, I literally looked up circle. This is an insight into our world. I looked up circle, and then I filtered for animated. Now I hope that you have this on the free version, but there are animated filters. So you apply it and look at all of these little things here you can make. You can resize them. You can't change the color of them and customize them as easily. That's why I went with white here. But that's it. So there are, just to let you know, if you see something animated, that's what this is. I'll show you one more example, and then we'll get your questions in the chat if you have them. I'll show you another example of how I made a 4-second video and then just posted that straight on social media. I didn't even put it into an editing system. If you have a Facebook page, I highly recommend you check out our Facebook hack playlist because they're all very short videos. This is what I made when we reached 500 followers. And I made that in Canva. It's 100% in Canva. Didn't put it in Adobe Spark or anything else. Just Canva. It's a 4-second video. All I did was create a Facebook story, actually, was that one. But you could do Facebook posts and then just look for animated. So these were animated, and that was it. Let's see. As we're waiting, if you have any questions, please put them in the comments. I will email everyone a survey because we really would love your feedback. You will receive your CEU certificate from Ariane Hurtado. She will send those out. You'll get this equipment and software cheat sheet here. You'll get the PowerPoint slide, and this webinar will be available on demand at the end of, or probably next month, as well as, Breanna, you talked a little bit about boosting a Facebook post or boosting a story. I did a webinar with Joe Pettit, and we got more in-depth on Facebook ads. So that webinar, too, will be available on demand. And like you said, you put $5 to it. Everybody on this call, I'm going to get really stern. Do not spend more than $20 boosting anything. If you spend more than $20, I'll be mad at you. It's not. You should not at all.
No, I think $20 like the entire quarter on Facebook ads.
You spent how much?
Maybe $20, like for the whole quarter. Yeah.
And since we have people and we don't have any questions just yet, how Breanna was mentioning that, you know, she knows to look for women. What she did here with this ad, or when she put $5 to it, then she just looked and saw who did it reach. So you can look at all this data. It's right there for you. It's not hidden. After you've spent $5 to boost your video, it gives you all this data, and then the next time you boost a video, you can say, only show it to the women, please, and only show it, you know, at this age range. Then that saves you money and gets more people to see it than before, because then they're not showing it to this 9% of men.
Right, and you make those decisions based on your organic followers. So just naturally, without even targeting an ad towards women, I have more followers who are women between 35 and 44. So
let's show them what that looks like.
Yeah.
So if you did spend $5 and you wanted to show somebody, if we don't have any questions after this, or if you didn't have any last minute, so I went to my page and I went to my insights, and then you look at followers, and it tells me, I think it's this one, right?
People.
Wait, where does that live? Everything is always. Oh, people, there you go. So there it is. So if I wanted to run and boost my video, I would definitely show it to women 35 to 54 is where I would put my $5.
But if you have a whole new audience, if you were a new, just starting your Facebook page, I would maybe experiment a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, schedule posts at different times, try to reach different audiences to see who you're going to be reaching. And I think if you go over to people engaged, it will actually tell you what time people are most engaged in your post.
Yes, I made a Facebook hack on that too.
It's awesome. Facebook analytics tools, I think that's why I flock to Facebook so much. Their measurement tools are awesome.
I would say, as we're wrapping up with our last minute tips, if you're not comfortable on camera but you want to get better at it, something I did was I just started using Snapchat was what I used, but you could use Instagram stories, Snapchat, Instagram stories, Facebook stories. Those are all gone in 24 hours. So I kind of didn't have as much pressure. So I would literally do my little video, and I knew if it wasn't perfect, oh, well, it's gone in 24 hours. And it just got me more comfortable in front of the camera. We did have a question from Caitlin. Said, do you think you get more engagement from Facebook versus Twitter? Personally, for me, 100%. I didn't even create a C-level social Twitter page, which I know is bad.
Yeah. To Facebook for parents who are really who we want to reach. Parents in the community are primary target market. Districts and schools are our secondary target market. So we reach our primary market on Facebook while we reach districts and other schools, principals, school officials on Twitter.
And I've heard, too, that if you want to engage local news, Twitter's really good for that. That's from my friend Ashley Summers at Lexington One in South Carolina. She literally goes to Twitter when she's like, I would love for local news to retweet this or pick this up or maybe come and help me. That's when she goes to that. So someone said, what about Facebook versus Instagram? Chad wanted to know. So you don't get to use Instagram, right?
Not for work, unfortunately, as much as I wish I could. Again, I can't really be that creative on Instagram because the district doesn't let food service have their own. So if I had to choose, I think Facebook, and I think for Chad's purposes or like a food manufacturer, I would definitely, I think Facebook too. You have those groups. You have school nutrition industry professionals. You have tips for school meals that rock. You have, I mean, there's 6, would you say, stable groups that we use. Though that audience is all on Facebook. Instagram is great, but I think for the purposes of having that reaching the school nutrition community, I think Facebook.
Yeah, if you're watching this and you're like, I don't have any, and I don't want to do all 3, and I don't know where to start. My rule of thumb has always been, if your district has platforms on all 3, see who has the most followers and go to that platform. So if they have, because there are some areas, it's not where I live, but there are some areas I've looked and Twitter is through the roof on followers and they have next to no one on Facebook following them. So that's just that's where your audience is. So use that. You could also use like local news as a good indicator, who's following like local news. Instagram, this is my strategy with Instagram. I find I have like 200 followers on Instagram and 650 on Facebook, but I get more likes on Instagram. It's like my audience is more active there. They're more big fans of us. So what I do with Instagram is I make that be like my sneak peek area. If I'm trying something out new or I've got a new campaign coming up, I'll go, all right, just for our Instagram followers, here's something coming up. It's like patting them on the back for being like a super fan, because I get more engagement from them, even though they're a much smaller group. You can have a little, I think about like Wendy's. They have a totally different voice on Twitter than they do on Facebook. They are super sarcastic on Twitter. They're like kind of even mean at times. But they have that's their place on Twitter. So you can even like have different approaches because you're reaching different audiences. It's okay, I think, to have different voices for those.
There's actually a meme out there right now. It's like a 4 square, and one says me on LinkedIn, me on Twitter, me on Facebook, me on Instagram.
Yes, it's just like that. So you don't have to be the same. I hate when people like just post on one platform and they push it over and it's the exact same caption, exact same photo, because there's no hashtags, there's no tagging, it's not going to help. It's fine, but it's not going to get you engagement. It's not going to end. And the last thing I'll say for Twitter is, if you want one like, this is one thing we learned at Social Media Marketing World. If you want one like, you need to like 10 things. You need to give as much as you get. you can't just say, here's my photo, everybody, and like it. You've got to interact. So what Ariane and I do when it's like downtime, we'll just scroll through Instagram and comment and say, love that. Or, you know, we interact with everyone too. So something to think about. I know that we just do it when there's downtime, but who has downtime right now?
We did have one more question. For interview questions, you have a go-to list. How do you come up with the questions you use in your videos? I don't have a go-to list, but what I do is I always kind of make notes beforehand, and I always say, how can I best tell the story? So, and people get kind of scared to be on camera, so I always make it a casual conversation. I would say, look directly at me. It's just a conversation between you and I. I don't, you know, looking into the lens can intimidate some people. You still get the good sound, the good video, and the more you keep it like a casual conversation, the better the audio is going to be.
100%. People want authenticity before they want, you know, every little thing to be perfect. And we don't want somebody acting like they're reading from a script. The audience doesn't want that. So I will email everyone that attended to, you know, all those follow-up items. Breanna, I can't thank you enough for you were the first webinar before all this started, and then now or last we're wrapping up. So thank you so much for sharing, because it's just so much more valuable, I think, to our audience. I know they all appreciate it, and hearing exactly what you're doing at Lee County. Follow them if you are not already. Thank you, Breanna. Everyone have an awesome day, and thank you for everything you're doing.
Thank you.